That's about getting answers to the questions that you have as an entrepreneur or professional. Getting Answers, the entrepreneur show that's about getting answers to the questions that you have as an entrepreneur or professional.
Hi, and welcome to Getting Answers. My name is Curtis. Today we're going to be talking about, the title of our show is Just the Bottom Line, or is it? Is it more than just the bottom line? In fact, on today we're talking about relationships and why relationships are so important that, in fact, they're more than just the bottom line. And typically we like to think of the bottom line as just profit, how much should we make, or the losses and things of that nature, and just the bottom line even of a conversation. And we like to say, get to the point, get to the point. We watch a video, nowadays they're saying that the attention span of the average person is probably about 3 to 5 seconds. So if you haven't grabbed their attention in 3.5 seconds, you lost them. But in fact, is there more to it? Are we leaving food on the table, if you will? Are we leaving opportunities on the table, if you will, in a sense that we just want the bottom line? We want to just get to the bottom line. Get to the point. Say what you have to say, because I don't have time. And ultimately, we wind up having a bunch of clips, if you will. And what I mean clips by clips is that we end up having a bunch of film clips, short edits, if you will, of our life. A snippet of this, a snippet of that, a snippet of this, and a snippet of that. And is that really any way to live life? But the truth of the matter is, most of us live life that way. We live life in a way where we just want it now. Again, get to the point, tell me what I need to know. And again, the title of our show is Just the Bottom Line, or is it? Why relationships are important. Why relationships are more than just the bottom line. And I like to say, this morning I was thinking about how interesting that is, because that's what we've honored for so long. Get to the point. Get to the bottom line. And we neglected to think about, or at least picture, that person who's working that production line, or that person who's part of our team on their way to work, and how intricate and how complex sometimes our lives are, and that we have a tendency to just negate that. Again, just get to the bottom line, get to the point, say what you have to say, and we end up leaving food on the table. We end up leaving opportunities out there, which in many ways could be an awesome opportunity, but because we don't sit long enough for the details, we don't sit long enough to get the how, the when, the where, and the why, and the what. And all of those things are important in our busy world, our busy life. And I like to think of just the bottom line as really a hard line approach. And believe it or not, there are people out there like that have that hard line approach. Just the bottom line, just give me the facts, and that other stuff matters, and we'll figure it out. And I can honestly say that I've been there. I wanted just the facts, but only to find out that the details mattered. And all too often, I considered the details just immaterial, if you will. They didn't matter. I got the facts, and I can just run with the facts. But what many of us have failed to understand or negated is that the how matters, the when matters, the what matters, the where matters, and the why. All those things are important. And again, for me, the bottom line is really like a single lane, if you will, almost kind of like a selfish approach. A single lane, kind of like the Nissan commercial, where I think it was the Nissan years ago. It was something like Bob's Highway, Bob's Freeway. And I think a lot of us have that approach. And that mindset that says, It's my way or the highway. This is how we do it, and this is how it's going to be done. But again, all too often, we fail to understand that the how is important, the when is important, the why is important, the what is important, and the where is important. And it's interesting about just the differences between men and women sometimes, because often women want to give the details of a story, and men want just the facts. Maybe there's something to that, but and I'm definitely guilty of that. I sometimes just want the facts. A lot of times I just want the facts. But in most cases, I end up having to go back to get the facts. And essentially, it ends up being damage control. So are we playing damage control in a lot of ways? Because the details were not important at that time. The how, the what, the when, the where, and the why was immaterial. So we end up having to go back and kind of just make our way through the details and pick up all those things that were important. And meanwhile, we lost the momentum. And I mean, that even brings up another point, because momentum is huge. How many times have we watched a sports game, any kind of sports, or just in life, where we said the team or our favorite team was awful, they were doing just horrific, or the opposing team was just playing it in just a horrible way? How many times have we stepped away and all of a sudden the momentum has changed, and what was horrible, or at least thought to be horrible, was yet an opportunity for the opposition to end up winning the game. So let's be mindful as we do life, as we are running our businesses from day to day, CEO, business owner, manager, supervisor, or even our personal lives. And we sometimes can think that it's so separate, but it's not that separate, because people bring personal things home to work, or people bring personal things from home to work, and people take work-related items home. It's very difficult to separate those things. So this idea, this more than just the bottom line, it applies not only to business, but it also applies to our personal lives. It's more than just the bottom line. Again, remember, if you're working with a team of people, or if you're a project manager, CEO, business owner, president, whatever the case might be, in whatever capacity, remember, there is opportunity always. But we have to remember that the opportunity are in people. Opportunity does not just create itself because it's just opportunity. Opportunity is gathered in the momentum. Opportunity is gathered within the knowledge. So as we are moving along from day to day in our personal lives, even as it relates to our business lives, let's remember that it's more than just the bottom line. It's about creating relationships. It's about, again, getting the why, the what, the where, the when, and the how. And when we dive into those details that we at one point thought were immaterial, when we dive into those details, we find out that, wow, we are in fact, or you are in fact, in control of a lot more things than you think that you are. The what, the where, the when, the how, and the where. We may not be able to control the circumstances, but once we know the details, it allows us to, guess what, prepare ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be prepared for every single moment. Absolutely not. But it does mean that you know what? I've been here before. I've seen this before. I've heard this story before. I know the what of this situation. I know the how of this situation. I know the where, the when, and the why. So again, it doesn't mean that we're going to be 100% prepared all the time, but we can allow life to run its course and again put those relationships first, because as the bottom line is important to all of us, there is no bottom line without the right relationships, folks. And that's simple. That's how it goes. It's kind of like asking the question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I mean, how do we look at that? Again, if you are taking that hardline approach, you can say the egg comes first. But the egg can't be without the chicken. So, again, it's just makes sense, folks. It's just logical, and that's what we have to approach this thing. This is not 6 steps to winning multitudes of friends. No, this is about building a relationship, and that's what we should be working on. I think the days are long gone where it's just my bottom line. I think that the entire world is responding and saying to us, all of us, is that it's more than just the bottom line. It's about my opinion. It's about you connecting with me. It's about you figuring out what my needs are, asking the right questions, building a relationship on thought-provoking questions, as the gentleman that I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, Art Jones, with The Art of Standing Out. It's about collecting the data and not just looking at the obvious, but again, putting the obvious into thought-provoking and coming up with a solution, answering a need for your client or customer, be it personal or business. Again, all too often we are trying to separate the two and saying business is business and relationships are relationships. And this belongs over here and this belongs over there. No, the truth of the matter is there's just a fine line, and how we deal with things personally in a lot of cases spills over into our business. We can very well be dealing with issues at home in our personal relationships, personal matters at home, and carry those situations to the business place, to the workplace, and respond to people out of what's happening at home. It happens all the time. Can we control it? Absolutely. We can control it by understanding that the details matter. We can control it by asking questions. Again, especially for us men, getting the details of the situation, knowing and understanding. I like to say that understanding equals how, what, where, when, and why. That's just something I like to say. The details are important. Again, what comes first? The chicken or the egg? It's not too complex, folks. What else we got? Well, I'm going to keep this short. I want to be before you long, and perhaps you've got some questions out there that I could possibly answer for you. I'm going to see if I can hop online here and see if there are any questions out there. If not, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's see if we got any questions here. again, folks, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the message area of our Facebook Live stream here, and I'll get to those questions. I'm kind of challenged sometimes with different things, trying to multitask. It's a good thing sometimes, and not so. But in any event, just remember, guys, relationships are important. They do matter, and there is no bottom line. I don't care how much you slice it, cut it, dice it. There is no bottom line without the right relationships. So it's often, a lot of times, I guess relationships are trending. I did a Facebook Live event a little while ago, maybe a few weeks ago, and something to the point of, are your relationships trending or not, or something in that area. And relationships have always been important, folks. Don't let those people out there fool you. Relationships have always been important. Just because they don't make it important, don't you miss your opportunity. And it's interesting enough, and I'm having a difficult time ending this here because I want to say this piece. It's interesting enough because in relationships we often will overlook them because of our own selfish needs, if you will, that bottom line. And again, I say that relationships do matter. They are important to your bottom line. In fact, they are your bottom line. Without relationships, you have no bottom line. And I could repeat that again and again and again, folks. Relationships have always been important. Too many times we're trying to follow the masses, the trends, and trying to make sure we're hashtagging this, hashtagging relationships, hashtagging this, and hashtagging that. But sometimes we just need to take a stand and be still, because those things are wavering sometimes. They get lost in the shuffle. But with you and I make a decision to be still and to, again, use that wisdom that comes from above, or wherever it comes for you. Use the wisdom and put one and one together and come to a safe conclusion that relationships do matter. They've always mattered. Just because they're not popular with the masses doesn't mean they're not important. Again, folks, I'm going to wrap this up here. My name is Curtis Brooks. I am a transformational speaker. For more information about who I am and what I do, you can contact me on my website. That is iamcurtisbrooks.com. Again, iamcurtisbrooks.com for more information about what I do. You can contact us here, or me here on Facebook Live, or at least Facebook. Each Thursday I do a Facebook Live, and that's without the lower thirds, and that's straight from my iPad. Again, that's going to be Thursday at 10 a.m. And on today I will be doing a Facebook Live, or at least on Tuesdays I'll be doing a Facebook Live at 11:30 a.m. Got started a little late, had to get haircut and make sure I was camera ready. But in any event, and also once I loaded this thing up, this computer's, all these gadgets here I got going on, once I loaded this stuff up here, you know, who knows, you know, stuff happens. And sure enough, after testing it, started it up, and voila, had issues. So finally I was able to work through the issues. So that was really the bigger reason why I got started a little late. So again, Thursday at 10 a.m. I do a Facebook Live. So in about 2 days I'll be doing a Facebook Live at 10 a.m. on Thursday. Again, that's without the lower thirds. And Tuesday I do a Facebook Live at 11:30 a.m. So join me there on Facebook Live. You can also contact me on Twitter at iamcurtisbrooks there on Twitter. So again, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to be signing out. If you do have any questions, drop those questions in the message area of this event here, and I will check them out, and I will get to them in the next broadcast. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you're out there, if not, hey, this Facebook Live event or this stream here will be on my professional page or my professional profile. check it out there. For more information, again, contact me. I am Curtis Brooks at, I am CurtisBrooks.com. All right, we'll see you then. Thanks.